Welcome to the tutorial on feedback amplifiers. The feedback amplifier was invented by Harold Black, an electronic engineer with the Western Electrical Company in the year 1928, while searching for methods for designing amplifiers with stable gain for the use in the telephone repeaters. Basically, there are two types of feedback, and they are the positive feedback, which is also called as regenerative feedback, and the negative feedback, also called as the degenerative feedback. The difference between the two types of feedback depends upon whether the feedback signal is in phase or out of phase with the input signal. The positive feedback occurs when the feedback signal is in phase with the input signal, and it is shown in the first figure. The feedback signal, as you can see, is in phase with the input signal. This means that the feedback signal will add to or regenerate the input signal. The result will be a larger amplitude of the output signal than would occur without the feedback. And this type of feedback is the one which is used in the public address systems. The negative feedback occurs when the feedback signal is out of phase with the input signal, as you can observe in this particular figure, and this means that the feedback signal will subtract or degenerate the input signal, and this will result in a lower amplitude output signal than would occur without the feedback. Though we talked about the differences between the two types of feedback, the positive feedback always will lead to instability and is not useful in a number of non-regenerative applications such as design of active filters. So that is why our focus of study is more towards the negative feedback, and we have already seen a lot of negative feedback circuits in a number of applications. So to recall, it is used in op-amp circuits. It is used to stabilize the bias point of the BJT by making use of the resistance connected to the emitter. Then to stabilize the bandwidth and the linearity of the BJT amplifier. It is used in the source follower, it is used in the emitter follower, etc. Now coming to the general feedback structure, how it looks like and what are those equations, and we will solve a numerical on the general feedback structure as well. So here you can see the signal flow diagram where each of the quantities X can represent either the voltage or the current signal, and the open loop gain of the amplifier is represented as A, and its output is represented as X0, and the relationship between the output and the input Xi is given in equation number 1. X0 is equal to A into Xi. The output X0 is fed to the load as well as to a part of the feedback network which produces a sample of the output, and this sample Xf is related to X0 in the relation given by the equation number 2. Xf is equal to beta times X0, and where beta corresponds to the feedback factor. The feedback signal Xf is subtracted from the source Xs, which is the input to the complete feedback amplifier, in order to produce Xi, which is the input to the basic amplifier. So from this figure, what we can observe is that the forward transmission occurs entirely through the basic amplifier. This is the basic amplifier, and the reverse transmission occurs entirely through the feedback network. So this is the basic amplifier and this is the feedback network. So to compute the gain of the feedback amplifier, what we are going to do is we are going to combine the equations of 1, 2 and 3 that we have seen here, and combining the equations we get the overall gain of the feedback AF to be equal to X0 by XS, and substituting the equations 1, 2 and 3, we obtain the equation as X0 by XS to be equal to A by 1 plus A beta, where A beta is the loop gain. So for a feedback to be negative, the loop gain A beta must be a positive value. What it means is that the feedback signal Xf that you have should have the same sign as that of the XS, thus resulting in a smaller difference signal Xi. So this equation number 4 indicates that for a positive value of A beta, the gain with feedback, that is AF, will be less than the open loop gain A by a factor which is equal to 1 plus A beta. And this factor 1 plus A beta is called as the amount of feedback. So usually the value of this feedback factor A beta is considered to be very large. So it's greater than 1. So what happens to our equation AF is equal to A plus A beta is, it will be reduced to A by A beta, which is equal to 1 by beta, denoted in equation number 5. So the gain of the feedback amplifier will be almost entirely determined by the feedback network, which is implied in equation number 5. Next, to compute the feedback signal AF, we use the equations 1, 2 and 3 again, and we get it as XF to be equal to beta times X naught, and from equation 4 we have X naught to be equal to A by 1 plus A beta into XF, and this can be seen to be equal to A beta divided by 1 plus A beta into XS, and we have XF to be equal to approximately equal to XS, which implies that the input signal, that is Xi of the basic amplifier, is reduced to 0. So if you are going for a large amount of negative feedback, then the feedback signal, that is XF, will be an exact replica of the input signal XS. Next we will compute the error signal. So the difference between the XS and XF is termed as the error signal, and we obtain it as Xi to be equal to XS minus XF is equal to XS A beta divided by 1 plus A beta. So we have Xi to be equal to XS minus A beta by 1 plus A beta into XS. So finally the 1 by 1 plus A beta into XS. This value of Xi will be very small if you are considering the value of A beta to be very greater than 1, and Xi will be equal to 1 by A beta into XS. So this implies that the negative feedback will reduce the signal at the input of the basic amplifier by an amount of the feedback, that is 1 plus A beta. Now to compute the closed loop gain, we have AF to be equal to A divided by 1 plus A beta, and this derivation we have already seen earlier. Next, coming to the numerical says that, which is shown in the figure, we need to compute what is the value of the feedback factor beta, that is part A of the question. Part B of the question says find the condition where the closed loop gain AF is almost entirely determined by the feedback network. Part C of the question says if open loop gain is given, find R2 by R1 to obtain a closed loop gain AF to be equal to 10. Part D says what is the amount of the feedback in decibels. Part E says if the value of Vs is 1 volt, find out output voltage, feedback voltage and the input voltage. Part F says if A decreases by 20%, what is the corresponding decrease in closed loop gain AF. If you observe, the circuit that is given is a non-inverting amplifier whose value of gain is AF is equal to 1 plus R2 by R1. In order to solve the first part of the numerical, that is part A, wherein they have asked us to compute the value of the feedback factor, if you consider the general structure, to compute the value of the feedback factor, what is the requirement is that we need to know the value of V out and Vf. So beta is equal to Vf divided by V naught, and Vf is equal to V naught into R1 by R1 plus R2. The feedback factor, if you have seen earlier, it is actually reciprocal of the value of the gain of the amplifier. So gain of the amplifier is 1 plus R2 by R1, and the reciprocal of that will give you a value of beta. So here you can see that beta is equal to R1 divided by R1 plus R2. So that is the expression that we have obtained. The values are not given, so that is why just the expression has to be written. Coming to the second part of the condition, wherein we are supposed to find out the condition for which the value of the closed loop gain is entirely determined by the feedback network. So from the closed loop gain, we have AF is equal to A by 1 plus beta, and if we consider this term A beta to be very large, that means AF becomes independent of the open loop gain. So the value of A into what is beta? Beta is R1 divided by R1 plus R2 greater than 1. So we get it as AF proportional to 1 by beta, or the open loop gain is very greater than AF. So this is the condition under which AF will be almostly entirely determined by beta. Coming to the part C of the question, wherein they have given you the value of the open loop gain, which is 10 to the power 4. We need to find out what is the ratio of R2 by R1. AF is also given, so beta is equal to 1 by AF, and that is equal to 1 by 10. So 1 by beta is equal to 1 plus R2 by R1, or AF is equal to 10 and R2 by R1 will be equal to 9. The part D of the question says to compute the amount of feedback in decibels. Amount of feedback is given as 1 plus A beta. So substituting, you get it as 1000. In decibels, when you want to compute, it should be 20 log of 1000, which will be equal to 60 dB. Part E of the question says we need to compute V out, VF and VI. So V out is equal to AF into Vs, and that is visible here. V out is equal to AF, that is the overall gain, multiplied with Vs. So that will give us a value of 10 volt. Vf is equal to beta into V naught, that will give us a value of 1 volt. Vi is equal to V naught by A, that will give us a value of 0, approximately equal to 0. The part F of the question says if A decreases by 20%, what is the corresponding decrease in the overall gain of the amplifier? So if A decreases by 20% means we are going to compute the 20% decrease, so that is 0.2 into 10 to the power 4. We will subtract it from the original value. Original value of open loop gain was 10 to the power 4. So now the new value of open loop gain will be 0.8 into 10 to the power 4. So after substituting, we will get the closed loop gain to be equal to 9.9975 to be the value. They have asked us what is the corresponding decrease. So to find out the corresponding decrease, actual value was equal to 10 that we have seen. Now the value is 9.995. So the difference between 10 and 9.9975 will give us a value of 0.025%, which is lower than the percentage change in A by approximately a factor of 1 plus A beta. Thank you for watching.